Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fate Grand Order video. And it's currently close to the end of March, which means we're going to be going into April, which means it's time to talk about what current events and banners are going to be upcoming into the game. If you want to know how it's possible for us to know what's going to be coming up, it's because the JP version of FGO is actually 2 years ahead of us, so it allows us to take a look inside and see what's going on. Though it's not always 100% accurate, which is for a reason that I'll explain pretty soon, because it makes a lot of things on the timeline look a little bit weird, especially with what's currently going on with this one. Thankfully, the month of April is mostly going to be focused around Draco, which is the current event going on. But there is still some stuff in April to talk about, so that's going to be today's video. I hope you like it, and if you do, you can leave a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel, and with that out of the way, let's start the video, shall we? So, yeah, like I said, the first things first is I can at least say that Lilim Harlot is currently ongoing. We have two of the banners, which is one that features Draco and Lucusta, and the other one that features, I was going to say King Protea, she is not on that banner, Lady Avalon, and I almost remembered it from pure memory, but I cannot remember it. Lady Avalon and Jacques de Molay, there we go, it took looking in here, are currently ongoing. With 2 days from now, there's going to be another banner that features Nightingale and Skahawk, and then 2 days after that will be another banners featuring Jack the Ripper and Mordred, and that's going to be basically Draco. It's going to take up most of all of April. As you can see, it goes into the 17th. They've already told us that the other event that's happening is April is going to happen late April, so likely it will happen after Lilim Harlot is done on the 17th, which means maybe by the 20th. Could be literally on the 18th for all we know. It depends on how they want to do it, if they want to keep things going and such stuff like that. So, yeah. That's the current ongoing event. Next, we have an event that was supposed to happen, but hasn't happened yet. So now we're currently looking at the JP timeline. And on the March 27th on JP, they started the Spring New Master Aid campaign, which has not started for us. Last time I did one of these videos, I assumed that they were maybe going to do it, and I would have really wanted them to do it on the lead up to Draco, because I thought that that would be the perfect time, because a lot of people would be coming back for Draco. They decided that they didn't agree with that, so we're currently waiting for Spring New Master Day campaign to start, which is why I didn't release this video in a while. Like, I waited until basically the 31st to release this, because I wasn't sure if they were going to start this at any point. I don't know why it hasn't started. I really wish it did start, but I can take a quick look and show you again. I already talked about it in the last video, so I'll just give a quick overview. The main thing that has to happen is a retweet campaign, which will feature 12 Sacred Quartz, 5 golden tickets, and a bunch of mana prisms and apples and 5 million QP, which is very nice. Obviously for us it would not be only retweets, but it would also be like Facebook likes or some shit like that. Shares, whatever gets them going. They want to get engagement, and if we meet the total, then we get all this stuff. This was one of the big factors of why I wanted it to happen before Draco or on the lead up, because having a lot of this extra stuff would be really helpful for a lot of people who are just maybe on the cusp of potentially getting Draco but did not have enough material to continue summon and stuff like that. Plus, there'll be daily login bonuses during it as well, which the first login bonuses gives you a total of 6 St. Quartz and 2 tickets, and then the next daily login gives you a total of 10 silver attack foe and 10 HP attack foe, 10 HP silver foe, a golden apple, and then 2 pairs of 3 St. Quartz. And then the last of the daily login bonuses features a lot of golden apples and 3 St. Quartz, 3 St. Quartz, which is a total of 9 St. Quartz over the course of it. And then limited master missions, which can also give you a bunch of St. Quartz, a ticket, and 10 5 EXP, and QP and friend points and stuff like that, which is really nice, along with a reward craft essence and friend point bonus ×2 during it as well, along with a returner. Basically, they would have a Fate Grail League return you can't log in campaign, which would make it so that any master who logged in before a specific period and had Fuyuki clear would have the ability to have these logins, and at the end of those logins it would be a total of 60 St. Quartz along with 21 golden apples, 55 EXP, and 42k friend points, which again would be really helpful with all the banners currently going up. They decided that they would wait on this one. And then of course the summon banner, I have not forgotten. Person who keeps asking me about Merlin, I also really would have thought that Merlin's banner would have been out by now, but it hasn't happened yet, and there are, at least I know, one person waiting for it, so that has to mean that there's other people waiting for this banner to come out, which is understandable because it's Merlin. Either you want him for the Buster Crit memes, or you want him because he's a legitimate fan favorite, not favor. For whatever your reasons for wanting him, unfortunate that he is not out yet, and now it's here post Draco, which means a lot of people's Saint Quartz have either been eaten by Draco, or are currently being tempted by Draco. And trust me, I've seen a couple, based off, I read all the comments people leave for all the summon videos, and I read about at least a decent amount of people who ended up summoning way more than they thought they wanted to, and were going, I don't want to summon anything, and then left going like completely devastated, I have nothing now. But yeah, this should hopefully happen sometime in April, maybe after the 31st, because that's when the FGO Arcade Collaboration pre-release campaign ends. But again, it should have already happened. It's weird that it didn't happen already, but maybe it's just sometime in early April now. And yeah, so the next thing that happens is technically the April Fool's event, and it's weird because if you look on the JP version, this says Fake Grail League release campaign, but the thing is, the US never does what JP does for April Fools. We do our own thing, because obviously we just don't do their game over again. So every year we do something a little bit different. I believe last year was the poker. Yep, which was poker. The year of, unfortunately, they could have done it. If they did it this year, they could have made a bootleg Balatro. I wonder if there's a Balatro mod that just puts in the poker cards from FGO. I should look into that, see if there's anything there. But anyway, the year before that was the quiz, which I really liked. It was like a weird little original Persona 1 style maze, like those old style of RPGs and JRPGs where you had to look through stuff. I mean RPGs, JRPGs, and like Goonies, but then I remembered Goonies 2 was I'm trying to remember where else I've seen it. Friday the 13th. It was in that style anyway. I'm now dating myself with that. I'm sure all you kids have seen all that stuff. Don't worry about it. But yeah, they do something different every year, and usually during these, we get 10 Saint Quartz, which is going to, again, be helpful for all the people who are currently still summoning on Draco or are ready to start saving up for future events as well. So expect that on April 1st. I'm excited to see what they plan to do. And then, as you can see here, all this stuff here that happened on JP in April already happened, so we're moving over to May. And I'm going to have the cutoff date be this right here. I think this makes sense for it to be up to here. But Evocation Festival, they've already announced it. I believe they said it was on the 17th, but let me pull up the stream real quick to just be double sure. Yep, I'm back. They announced it during the live stream, and they said, yeah, on the 17th, it's currently planned to have the Pilgrimage Festival for Part 2 to come out. And this is what the Pilgrimage Festival is going to have. It's pretty basic. It's 4 new welfares. It features Brave Liz, Halloween Liz, which is the caster version, Archer Nobunaga, which is the original one that we first got, and Mysterious Idol X Alter, along with there being some, once again, logins, which during the logins you can get Saint Quartz, 2 Saint Quartz, 3 Saint Quartz, 2 Saint Quartz, 3 Saint Quartz, limited time master missions where you can, again, get a bunch of Saint Quartz along with these leaves and a lore, and other campaigns that take place during it, such as 2 times EXP gained when leveling up. Let me tell you this, because I've been doing this with Samba Quetz. If you're a big fan of getting to a level 120 with your favorite characters, let's say like you're a big fan of Nobunaga, take advantage of this, because this has been a godsend as I've been getting my Samba Quetz to level 120. I can tell you right now, I've done the level 120 thing at least 2, maybe 3 times, I think. And it's a pain in the ass. Every single time I've ever done it, it's made me feel like I've wasted so much time and effort to do this, and I never feel good. But the rush you get from feeding 5 EXP to these 4 stars and seeing how much EXP you get from it, it's like nothing else, man. If you specifically care about any of the welfares coming up, I would say take advantage of this. You will never find a better time to get to level 120 with a unit than during this, when they're getting 2 times the EXP from it, and then they're also getting a great and super suck chance as well, times 2. It is amazing. Please take advantage of it. Let me tell you, as somebody who's done level 120 enough times to hate it, I enjoyed the entire time I was doing this. So, and it's just feeding 5 EXP to someone. Anyway, I forgot to even mention the other stuff. So yeah, 1/2 QP cost while leveling up. And then selected Ember Gathering quests will be open every day, which will likely include all the ones that feature here, which is Rider / Saber and Caster / Archer. And of course, there's none for unfortunate Mysterious Idol X Altar, but it's what it is. And then these 4 servants will also get plus 50% damage bonus regardless of what quest you use them in. I think the only one that doesn't apply to is maybe Advanced Quest or something like that. But yeah, there you go. And then there'll also be new strengthenings, one for Halloween Liz, which will turn Innocent Monster EX to Halloween Star EX, which is, I'll talk about this more when this actually comes out. Another strengthening buff to Brave Liz, one to Nobunaga, and not one to Idol X, just because she's already good to start with. And then there will be a summoning campaign, which features Okita, Vlad, Mysterious Heroine X, Liz, Original. So if you're someone who's missing Original Liz, like my brother, I guess this is your chance. Nobunaga, Berserker, and Mysterious Heroine XX, with the breakdown of it looking like, yeah, Mysterious Heroine X gets Mysterious Heroine XX, Vlad gets Liz, and Okita gets Nobunaga Summer. And yeah, that's the Evocation Festival. Pretty simple stuff. Really nice to take advantage of it if you like any of these welfares as dudes, and this is your time to level them up and get them ready. Get them ready for what comes next. Okay, and then the next event is Ordeal Call Pre-release campaign, with the main event being a main story quest will be half reducted. Targeted quests will include 1/4 AP for Fuyuki into Solomon, Lost Belt 1 until Lost Belt 6, 1/2 AP campaign for the Lost Belt 7, which is the most recent Lost Belt, obviously, in the most recent story thing that they released. You'll get a bunch of Spirit of Vein stones, which will help when you use these when you die. So if you're someone who's like, how the hell am I supposed to beat any of these as a new player? Spirit Vein Stones. This is what they do. And Mana Prism Exchange as well, which you can exchange for a bunch of them using 10 Mana Prisms. There will also be a summoning campaign related to this, which you can get Ivan the Terrible, Anastasia, and a bunch of other units that are not those two. Dobranya Nikich, Atlanta Altar, Avisa Bron, who's currently, of course, putting the finger to the sky for Roman Reigns, and Saliari, who's actually kind of hard to get, and it's also a pretty good unit, but he's also story-locked, so that kind of sucks, so you should try and get him when you can. If you're a big fan of Saliari and you're looking to level 120 him, I wish you the best of luck, because it is not easy to find banners on him that do not also feature Anastasia and Ivan the Terrible. You gotta take what you can with your boy sometimes. And yeah, most people will likely skip this banner, unless of course you want Ivan the Terrible, who is of course voiced by Kiryu Kazuma, which is the ¡1 reason to own Ivan the Terrible. On this channel, we respect Ivan and everything that he does, so acknowledge him, which is why Visa Braun is putting the finger up into the sky. But that's the Ordeal Call Pre-release campaign. And then, finally, after that, we get the Fun Karakuri Illya's Castle, which is going to be the Lotto event. This is what you should be saving apples for, especially if you're running low on a lot of materials. This is a Lotto event. So before I start talking about the Lotto, I'll just say here's the summoning campaigns that are going to be released with this one. One features Kashin Koji, which is going to be with Kato Danzo and Fuma Kotaro, something like that. Funny enough, the only limited being on here being Kato Danzo, because she is, I believe, story-locked. Yeah, she is, and Koji is not, which means you shouldn't really summon unless you deeply want them. I usually like to not summon on units like this, but to be fair, there's actually a lot more non-limited 5-stars that it can actually be kind of tough to get exactly who you want. Like, for example, I got Achilles most recently. If I could have chosen which one of my non-limited 5s it would have been, it probably would not have been him, but it's like one of those things where it's like, well, that's why I don't chase banners featuring him, because I know I could at any time randomly get them. But I guess it's also depending on the player. But yeah, that's going to be the first banner up for this one. And then another banner featuring Illya, Miyu, and Fuma again, with Miyu being, I believe, limited, not just story locked, just straight up limited. That's correct. She's also a collab unit, and Illya, who is also limited, and then a third summoning campaign which features Satonia, who is story locked, and Miyu, who is again limited, and Danzo, who is story locked once again. Okay, with the summons out of the way, here's the main crux of what you're going to be doing here. Lotto events. So, if you're a newer player, Lotto events are 100% where you're going to get a lot of your materials from, and where if you grind them a whole bunch, this is where you can get your account up and running. During the early days, I used to always be struggling for everything. It wasn't until I saw people saying what you need to do is you need to save for Lotto and kind of go crazy on it, and I did, and I was able to get a whole buttload of material all at once, along with a lot of QP, along with 4 EXP, because there was no 5 back then, to be able to do a lot of things, and it did help a whole bunch. It made me be able to get a lot of my roster up and running, and especially with nowadays you being able to get 3 Saint Quartz for every servant you get to max ascension for the first time, it is really key to make sure to get all those leveled up. And yeah, this is the material that are going to be inside at this time. It's going to be 2 forbidden pages, and so yeah, the way it works is that basically there's a box with 300 things in total, and it's cost 600 of the tickets to get it through it, and then by the end of it, these are the first 10, and then when you get to the 11th and onwards, they remove a lot of the good stuff, like the golden apples and the silver apples and stuff like that, and that way you can just forever grind for these specific gems and stuff like that. But yeah, the materials inside are Forbidden Pages, Medals of the Great Knight, Chains of the Fool, Dragon Fangs, and Bone, Unlucky Bone, along with gems for all of the 7 knight classes, which is Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Assassin, and Berserker. Gems of blue, red, and gold, along with, again, 25 4 EXP, 15 3 EXP, a golden apple, 2 silver apples, a bronze apple, 45 mana prisms, 10k, and then 4.5 million QP in total. So you want to try and grind this as much as you can. Of course, there's also grand prizes. When you pull the grand prize, you're able to just kind of like skip over to the next box. I never do that until I can 100% say with all certainty I have everything that I want, and it ends up being that I just pull on everything because I'm like, whatever, I want all the material, I'll take all the material, it's fine. And then you also get 4 of these little Illya dolls here, which you can then also exchange for stuff in the event shop, which you can see here. For 38 to get everything in here, and once you have them all, you can start exchanging them for QP, which is very nice, especially by the end of it. So yeah, grind these hard. This is going to be a Lotto event. There's going to be, I think, a raid later this year as well, and there's usually another Lotto event near the end of the year to celebrate a bunch of other stuff. But if you can use a good chunk of your apples and save as much stamina as you can, this is the event you want to be doing, because you want to get as much of the stuff that you can. And obviously, if you don't need any of the stuff on here, then you can have a good old time just doing whatever you want and just kind of slowly grinding it as you wish. Sorry about that little cut there. There was something going on in the background, so let's get back to it, shall we? The main thing I was going to say just to end this off is that the one thing that is pretty key here is Unlucky Bone. If you have a lot of servants that you like that use bone, you need a lot of Unlucky Bones. I've gone from 500 Unlucky Bones, and then I leveled up 2 servants, and I was back down to 50 bones. It's dire. If you want to know how bad it is, look at this. 228 bones, 180 bones. These 210 ones are only because they're for costumes. 180, 180, 126, 180, 132, 180, 161, 126, and then you go over to Archer, and literally the only one that doesn't take a whole bunch is like Romulus, who takes up 30, and probably because he uses them early on. But for the most part, 80 from Teach. Like 53 from Mozart. You can see they're like so far in between. Like all of them, they take up so much bones. Even 80 bones is a lot for a lot of these servants. And yeah, it's always in constant demand. So if you have a fan favorite and you have multiple fan favorites who use bones, I always suggest stocking up on bones. To get the pen skills for Space Arishkagal, it's 150 bones. She doesn't even need those for the main skill. It's just specifically for the append. She decides to take your wallet from it. It's pretty rough. So I'll likely be grinding this out a good bit because I want to make sure to have backup bones, because I do plan to get Arishkagal, and getting stuff like that from them would be pretty key. Oh, and I also need them for Ushigozen and Count of Monte Cristo and stuff like that. Shinpachi needs them too. Oh my god, I obviously need to get my boy Shinpachi to max level 10 skills. So you know I need to get that. Okay, this is just me talking about what I need to grind forever. The grind truly never ends, as I've said. But yeah, that's the lotto. Take advantage of it while it's here. If you already have taken advantage of the lotto multiple times, then obviously you don't have to do it. But if this is what you should be saving your stamina for. This is why you be as effective with it until you no longer need to be effective with it, and you can just blast it all right here. Okay. And then the last thing that I would assume to happen in April is the Nero Fest battle in New York, and likely Advanced Quest Part 15 as well. But I'll save that for later. But I'll go for Nero Fest because this is just a very quick banner. It's Nero Bride, Tesla, Castor, and Thomas Edison on a banner. Nothing too crazy. Easy enough to remember. And that'll likely be it for April. And yeah, that's going to be this month. This month is obviously a little bit super hyper focused on Draco, and in general we're now entering into post Draco form, which is going to be for the next month up until July. The first week of July, everyone is going to be saving up for anniversary / summertime, and if you're not, then there's obviously a bunch of other stuff to go to. But what I will say is that even if your plan is to go through there, there's still a lot of stuff to go through that are pretty good. Like, for example, I guess May for us will feature the 28 million downloads campaign, and also Paper Moon coming, which will have Durga, which is of course a Sakura face, which is what the Sakura face my brother was warning everyone about, along with a bunch of cool dudes. Look at this, I think it's Bima is this guy. He'll be up there for it. I believe this is also when they're going to be redoing the... I believe this is where she comes back. Yeah, that's right. Nido Chris Alter and Kukula Khan will also be back before it too. So if you weren't able to get them in the early part of the year, you could try for them again this part near the end of the year. And it's kind of killer. And then we also have Saber Medusa also coming up into the mix. She's likely to happen in late June, because they already said it happens late June. And then we'll be leading up to Anniversary, which will feature, of course, I always forget how to pronounce her name. I think it's Osk. Yeah, it's Osk the Savior. There it is, Osk the Savior, which also counts as a Summer Morgan. And then we'll be going into Summer, which will also feature Summer Melusane, Summer Bargus, Summer... I was going to say Cat Sif, but that is not her name. Babo Sif. That's also not her name, but it's closer. Along with Summer Castoria, Berserkertoria, however you want to call her name. I just call her Summer Castoria. The Chloe, which is going to be a very key and good support coming up for a lot of units. Like, for example, that's how I'm going to be able to loop with the Black Grill on Cuckoo, is by using Chloe. And then also Suzuku, which is just in a really good bikini, from what I can remember. If I can remember. Yeah, that's a really good bikini. Why wouldn't you want to try and get that? So anyway, that's going to be coming up. It's a lot of stuff to look for. It's a lot of stuff to look forward and to grind for and to potentially save for. It's going to be kind of a rough couple months here. More than a couple, because we have April, May, June, and then July. Early July is our anniversary, so not that much. It seems like it's 4 months away, but it's likely closer to feel like to 3. But anyway, that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. If you feel I missed anything, feel free to leave it down below. Thank you very much for watching. Tell me what you're looking forward to the most for this month. I'm always interested to read about that. And I will see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you if you're still summoning for Draco. Best of luck to you if you're saving for the future. Best of luck to you in life in general. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out. Bye.